All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. I literally just rolled out of bed. Let's get our Saturday morning started. Let's see who do we have online. We've got Mr. Ron Ross, Mafus, Renee, Rohan, Desmond Hines, Yashika, Conchamar, Lance, Lashana, Radina, Lee Dickey, Yoni. Good morning, good morning. That's a good move, Mafus. I've been hearing a lot about Digipulse. Went up like 200% in one day. Hope you guys are ready for the weekend. Rest up from the previous week. We'll cover some news this morning. Starting off our Saturday morning, actually learning something new. That is always the point. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent, adult decision. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Number 1, education is the key. Education is everything. Number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. See, the president's got me all mixed up with that isn't, should, or shouldn't thing. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? Take action, stay focused, and do not get distracted. There's so many things out there that can distract you. You have limited resources. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that is the most we can ask for. Now, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to learn something new this morning. As always, that is the point of these crypto talks. I try to bring a little bit of humor and comedy to it. My own commentary as well, instead of just reading blandly from an article that's boring. So let's see what we're going to cover first up is Bitcoin ETF decision gets an overwhelming amount of public opinion. Now, you may not understand all about the ETFs, but all we know is in the past, when an ETF got introduced to a financial system, the amount of institutional money that flowed into it exploded, like what happened with gold. So if the same thing happens on Bitcoin, then chances of it exploding like it did with gold is pretty high. So let me go back and put this in the chat box. Lost my place on Facebook. And of course, my computer's moving slow. I just turned it on when we got started this morning. How's the weather out where you guys are? I think it's supposed to be pretty nice here today. Swimming weather. Mafus, you got that info from Rob. Yep. I didn't know if I wanted to buy it after it went up 200%. I should have bought it last week. All right, come on. Sometimes technology does not want to cooperate. Okay, what I'll do is I'll start to... Oh, here we go. Overcast up in Richmond, huh? Chuck Dell says it's raining and cloudy. Oh no. We got straight up summertime weather here. All right, a great deal of cryptocurrency proponents are hoping for a positive outcome when the US SEC decides on whether or not they will approve the latest Bitcoin-based ETF application filed by the CBOE. That also makes me a little skeptical because the CBOE and the CME are the reason why the market dropped, because they bet against it. They're holding it down. They shorted it, in other words, and waiting for the day that it all of a sudden rebounds. Now, will it be the ETF that makes that happen? We'll see. But it says the U.S. regulator had asked for public opinion concerning the ETF again, and this time around the number of responses sent to the regulator is 10 times the amount that was sent this past April. Virtual currency enthusiasts really want a Bitcoin-based exchange-traded fund approved by U.S. regulators. Over the past few weeks, since CBOE filed an application with the SEC so it can list shares backed by the Vanik SolidX Bitcoin Trust, the SEC office received a large swath of opinion letters from more than 90 individuals, according to recent reports. The number of responses sent was 10 times the amount of opinions written last April during a prior Bitcoin ETF decision. Reports also detail that CBOE's Bitcoin-based ETF has been so popular that the SEC has pushed another cryptocurrency-related listing off until this September. The attempted CBOE ETF has been a popular discussion among cryptocurrency enthusiasts, and some speculators believe digital asset prices will rise in anticipation of the SEC's decision. Cryptocurrency markets have seemingly already reversed their bearish trend, and a good amount of proponents believe this decision will cause a spike either before and after the ruling of it is positive. I have not checked the market this morning. Like I said, that's normally the first thing I do, but I woke up, looked at the clock, and was like, oh, I got to get this crypto talk in. So let me pull up the coin market cap real quick. All right, still kind of flat, $7,414 per coin for Bitcoin. Total market cap is at $282 billion. So it's been flat within the last 24 hours. All right, we'll keep an eye on that though. Let's continue here. There's also been a discrepancy on when the official decision would be made, as many people and publications assumed the verdict would be on August 10th. However, according to a Reddit user who claims to be a securities lawyer on the forum R Cryptocurrency, an August 10th decision is impossible. The way this works is that the SEC issues a notice, which is then published in the Federal Register. As you will find stated clearly in the notice, the period is within 45 days from the date of publication in the Federal Register, not the date the notice is released by the SEC. The date of publication in the Federal Register was July 2nd, and this means they have until August 16th. Bear in mind that it can be extended, and even once the period ends, the SEC may initiate proceedings to assist in making a decision. So a possible crypto bull run if the SEC ruling is positive. If an ETF judgment is made on August 16th, there is well over a month until that date, so a lot could happen to cryptocurrency spot markets between now and that time. People who hope this ETF will happen believe it might be approved because of CBOE's previous experience with Bitcoin futures markets introduced this past December. So far, the derivatives markets offered both the CBOE and CME group have done well, and growing volumes show there is interest in these mainstream cryptocurrency investment vehicles. Arthur Hayes, the co-founder and CEO of BitMEX Exchange, explains on the NBC broadcast Fast Money that a positive ETF ruling could prime the next massive bull run. You hear that? Massive. I already said, I don't think a major bull run is going to happen until September, so this kind of is falling in line if this happens in the end of August. We're one positive regulatory decision away, maybe an ETF approved by the SEC, to climb through 20,000 and even to 50,000 by the end of the year, the BitMEX CEO states. So keep an eye on this. For those of you that are investing in Bitcoin, or your holders, and You're moving coins around. The trick is to try to time, making sure you've got as much Bitcoin as you can before this bull run takes place. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. That's the tricky part. All right. What's going on, Jeremy and Renee, both from Hawaii? Why CEOs of Circle, Coinbase, and major crypto firms are bullish on Ethereum. So they love Ethereum. Let's see why. Executives and operators of major crypto conglomerates valued at many billions of dollars have been more optimistic towards Ethereum than Bitcoin, the most dominant cryptocurrency in the global market as of late. Throughout the past year, Circle, the $3 billion cryptocurrency exchange and payments platform, and Coinbase, the $8 billion cryptocurrency brokerage company, which also remains as the biggest digital asset exchange in the world, have continued to express their enthusiasm regarding the growth of Ethereum and its vibrant ecosystem, in which hundreds of thousands of developers are building decentralized applications, dApps, to increase the adoption of the blockchain. This week on CNBC's Fast Money, Circle co-founder and CEO Jeremy Allaire said ETH could be the catalyst for the next cryptocurrency rally due to the enormous amount of developer activity on the Ethereum blockchain. I don't know. Even though because of that, I don't know that's going to cause the rally. And if it does, it'll be the first time a rally on the crypto market happens based on an altcoin and not Bitcoin. All right, several analysts have disclosed that ETH currently has more than 300,000 developers on its network and have been adding more than 50,000 developers on a monthly basis since May. Good Lord. Talk about a growing industry. Anybody looking for a job? That's an industry in demand right here. In July of last year, the founder and CEO of Aragon, a decentralized government protocol based on Ethereum, used by major blockchain networks such as DistrictOx and Request Network, said there's a gold rush among developers to learn the coding language of money, adding that he does not know a single ETH developer that has not become a millionaire yet. You hear that? They're adding 50,000 developers a month, and not a single ETH developer has not become a millionaire yet. Ergo, or therefore, if you want to be a millionaire, become an ETH developer. Allaire, who has overseen the evolution of Circle from a cryptocurrency brokerage to a payments company and its re-entrance into the cryptocurrency market, said that Ethereum as a base layer for various types of blockchains and dApps is crucial for the long-term growth of crypto. One of the things that really catalyzed the cryptocurrency market last year was actually that Ethereum in particular kind of got to a place where you could build apps on top of it. You could issue new tokens on top of it. You could create new kinds of financial contracts using the smart contracts technology. It also catalyzed a lot of competing infrastructures to Ethereum, Allaire said. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, the first unicorn in the cryptocurrency sector, has been consistently optimistic towards ETH since late 2017, when he publicly disclosed that he personally owns more Ether, the native cryptocurrency of Ethereum, than Bitcoin. His Fortune 40 under 40 profile read, Armstrong, who now personally owns even more Ether than he does Bitcoin, is responsible for introducing much of America and beyond to cryptocurrency. The world's largest exchange for trading digital currency, Coinbase's customers have more than doubled in the past year, while trade volume in 2017 alone is roughly 8 times last year's total. Most multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency companies and investors are highly anticipating the growth of ETH throughout the next few years, especially with the imminent launch of 2-layer scaling solutions, Plasma and Sharding, because 90% of public blockchains and cryptocurrencies are already based on Ethereum, and the dominance of the Ethereum network over the blockchain and smart contract sector is rapidly increasing. So maybe they're telling you to own some Ethereum. I do. All right, next article up. It's the last one. Have institutional investors lost the chance to make Lambo money in crypto? Oh no! Isn't that like the measuring stick for success in crypto? Do you got a Lambo yet? I have a new car I bought with Bitcoin. It wasn't a Lambo. Not yet. I plan on getting one day though. I've always wanted a Lambo, but yeah, you're in the Bitcoin crypto space, you gotta get a Lambo. All right. Bitcoin went on a serious bull run in 2017 and rose over 1,900% by the end of the year. Despite that, Wall Street remained largely skeptical on the subject of digital currencies throughout the past year. A few months into 2018, however, institutional investors are now announcing funds dedicated to the new asset class and have been directly investing in digital currency startups. While early investors in the market have made significant returns on their invested capital, it remains to be seen whether or not institutional investors will be able to replicate their success. Some notable investment funds and banks have already been exploring the possibility of directly investing in digital currencies, while pure plays in such a volatile asset class are typically not their field of expertise. They are willing to set up such funds anyway. Andreessen Horowitz, for instance, announced a $300 million cryptocurrency fund in June 2018. Chris Dixon described it as a long-term, all-weather fund that wouldn't be swayed by temporary price fluctuations. In other words, the serious people aren't fazed by the current price of Bitcoin. It drops from 9,000 to 5,800 and people are not like, yeah, okay, we're not playing the short-term goal here. Long-term play. The Winklevoss twins one of them, was it last week, said even when the price hits over 280,000, which they believe, and why that specific number, you may ask? Well, one of their other millionaire buddies put out a bet against Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, and said that he believes that one Bitcoin will be worth more than a Berkshire Hathaway share by 2023. And we're talking about $280,000 per share. So the Winklevoss twins said, even when it reaches 280,000, we're not selling any of our coins. These boys are looking to become one of the richest people in the world ever. You know, right now, Steve Bezos, 150 billion. That's nothing. I mean, yeah, he's the richest in modern history. But within the next 10 years, look at the top 10 wealthiest people in the world. You're going to see they're over 100 billion each. You're going to find. And 9 out of 10 of them is going to have to do something with blockchain technology. Mark my words on that. This is a new emerging industry. All right, let me not get off track here. Let's get back to the article. BlackRock Chief Executive Larry Fink said, "We are a big student of blockchain," before adding that the company had formed an internal task force to analyze digital currencies. Goldman Sachs, Barclays, and Fidelity are also all exploring opportunities to invest in digital currencies. Stephen Cohen, who runs Point72 Asset Management, also oversees one such fund. The Wharton alumni has crypto assets worth around $12 billion under its management. So will cryptocurrency outshine past returns? Are the days of the Lambos gone, or will they come back? The funds that are now exploring investments in cryptocurrencies have a long-term horizon. Venture capitalists raise money from limited partners for an average period of 7 years. In a typical startup investment, the first 3 to 4 years are used to capitalize a company, while the latter years are used to sell the equity holdings for a profit. However, in the cryptocurrency market, these investors can potentially hold onto their digital currency indefinitely, or until they require the liquidity. Supporting this argument is the fact that cryptocurrency prices have risen dramatically over the past few years. Nevertheless, renowned investor Warren Buffett, here we go, has been a vocal critic of digital currencies for their lack of intrinsic value. It remains to be seen if the future cryptocurrency returns can match past performance. Financial regulators and governments are also among those skeptical about cryptocurrencies. Most regulatory bodies believe that the asset class is being increasingly used for illegal activities and money laundering, and they ignore fact. Yes, in this political environment, I know it's hard, but facts matter. The truth matters. 0.5% of all crypto transactions has to do with fraud. That's 0.5%. That's nothing. 99% of all fraud and criminal activity is being used through fiat money. But yet they want to focus on the 0.5% in the crypto space. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told the House Financial Services Committee on July 17th that cryptocurrencies were a risk to investors. So was the stock market, or any business for that matter. He said, I think there are also significant investor risks. You know what? Here's my problem. The SEC and everybody else wants to say, you can't go out there making guarantees and promises and whatnot. Yet, they turn around and make a statement like this. Well, if you invest in crypto, it's a risk. Of course it's a risk. It's not a guarantee. Are you only looking for guarantees and then you turn around and say, we can't guarantee? There's no guarantee in the stock market. I don't see you running around saying, oh, investing in the stock market is a significant risk. Says there is no promise behind it. There shouldn't be a promise behind it. There's not supposed to be a promise behind it. If a company did promise it, even if true, you're going to throw them in jail. So he says, it is not really a currency. That's false. And it does not have any intrinsic value. And that's false. The US SEC also is yet to clarify a sound framework for cryptocurrencies and digital tokens. Yes, they have. The US SEC came flat out and said that Bitcoin and Ethereum is not a security. And any ICO with the sole intent of selling a coin that's not existent yet, with the sole purpose of the investor thinking that they're going to get a return on their investment in the future based on the company's activities, is the sale of a security. They have been very clear on this. It's just those that want to walk the gray zone here. A robust regulatory framework will likely influence the potential of future cryptocurrency returns. The law may not only deal directly with cryptocurrency holders, but also hit exchanges and other crypto companies. Ultimately, though, the market will benefit the most from larger investors, especially those with long-term views. That is partially true. I don't think the market is going to either nosedive, or go to the moon based on the current regulation. I think there's two things in effect here. One, I just read the article. What happens if an ETF is introduced? And number two is that there is market manipulation going on. The futures are purposely manipulating the market down. They're shaking the tree. They want you to sell all of your Bitcoin, and they're hoarding Bitcoin. They're buying it all up cheap. And then they're going to take the foot off the brakes and let the sucker run and make a huge profit. That's exactly what I would do if I was in that position. Why would I buy all my Bitcoin between 15,000 and 20,000 when I could force the market down, force all the shaky people to sell their Bitcoin because they don't know what they're doing anyway, gobble up all the Bitcoin when it's at between $6,000 and $10,000, hold it there for a little while, and then let it run all the way up to $50,000 and then sell and let them do another market correction again. Let it drop down to 15K, 20K. Let everybody sell their Bitcoins buy it all up, let it run up to 75,000, and then sell. This has already happened 3 times this year. So I think that is what determines, is when those people decide, and yes it is, when they decide to allow the market to run again. Unfortunately, now the government is investigating that right there, and they want to put a stop to that. But when the futures came on, the big boys from Wall Street who know what they're doing came into the space, and they're like, oh wow, this is completely unregulated. We can lose our freaking mind over here. And they executed it, becoming flat out filthy rich. Now, for the rest of us, what can we do? Get positioned. You know what? And there's one more article I am going to read right now because it deals with energy. I shared this with Facebook Live the other day. I said there's 2 things you can do right now if you want to get your foot in the door in the crypto space and be positioned to be having some money coming in. 2 things you could do. Number 1, and this is going to cost you money. These 2 things. Number 1, you need to pull out $300 and get cryptogenics. Get your education on. It's priceless. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do, scrape up $3,750 and buy yourself a GreenX mining rig. GreenX just came online in May of 2018. Solar power in a box. The future of power, decentralized power. Going to disrupt the entire world, just like Airbnb did for hotels, Uber did for taxis. Green is doing to power. Many articles have already been written on this technology. Green owns 40 patents of it. Walmart got rejected because Green already owned the patent. And these, if you know anything about mining, being able to mine the coin at the very beginning, do you know how many coins you're going to get? How in the world was some clown able to buy 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin? How did he get 10,000 Bitcoin in the first place? Because he was mining it back in 2009 and 2010. So those 2 things, number 1, you just put yourself in position for education, and that's the most important. And number 2, you gave yourself an investment that's going to yield you some results. And the money you earn from that, you can then flip that and invest in other things in the crypto space. It gives you a starting point. Instead of you trying to, scrape up money from your job and invest here and invest there, would you rather buy a golden egg or the golden goose that's going to produce golden eggs? It's a good entryway. Now, there, of course, is absolutely no guarantee. I have to give you that disclaimer. There is always risk. But this, as far as I'm concerned, is the best and safest risk that's going to yield you the most amount of results, other than, I'm going to guess I'll buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and sit on it. Okay, you can do that. I'd rather take the money that I'm mining, and then buy Bitcoin. I like to say I don't buy Bitcoin, I earn it. So anyways, those are 2 things you can do. And because I brought up energy, I will read one more article. This doesn't have to do with green, but another company that is trying to do something in renewable energy. So it piqued my interest. I have not read it yet. So I want to see what they're doing. And more importantly, I like to see the noise that's being generated in the industry when it comes to energy. So Switch incentivizes renewable energy usage, ongoing trials promising. The excessive use of fossil fuels forms one of the most significant contributors to climate change since the past decade, and with the overexpansion of cities and ever-growing production demands for consumers, the environment is primed for an unsustainable crisis. Research suggests over 30 gigatons of hydrocarbons was released in 2016 after the massive use of fossil fuels for electricity, transportation, and sustenance, alongside a marked absence of renewable sources of power. Not only do harmful fumes encompass the earth, but toxic compounds like nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and mercury also threaten to affect newer generations medically. While there is sporadic development of renewable energy production centers, the output is far less than what should be present to mitigate the ill effects of traditional sources of energy. Only 10% of the world's energy comes from natural resources like solar, hydro, and wind, as conducted in a 2015 research paper. Additionally, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, an intergovernmental economic organization with 35 member countries, estimates that climate change will impact the global GDP indirectly by over 3% in 2060. While this figure may be minuscule, it is significant considering the projected GDP figures in 2060 at $220 trillion, indicating a $3 to $7 trillion loss to climate change. Now, firms are turning towards blockchain technology. You hear this? To incentivize energy systems. With Switch at the forefront of this visionary solution, I don't know about all that. Blockchains provide a seamless process to integrate data and incentivize the participants, facilitating the transfer of data. Using cryptocurrencies, firms were able to use a token-based method for interaction with the blockchain and adding monetary value to the process. That's how GreenX coin is going to work. What does the coin have to do with it? I'm going to read that part again. Token-based method for interaction with the blockchain and adding monetary value to the process. In this regard, Switch has identified several factors impeding the growth of Ethereum and Bitcoin for advanced uses, such as issues with security, privacy, performance, block sizes, and basic Know Your Customer protocols. The Switch ecosystem aims to create a global vehicle to deploy resources directly into markets where renewables can yield the highest economic and fossil fuel replacement impact. So this is different than what Green is doing. Additionally, the team intends to capitalize on the blockchain's evolution and improvement without being locked into any one protocol or platform. Switch's platform design is built to encourage wise investments in regions where carbon emissions are high or power generation is low. To implement this, Switch utilizes an Oracle, an open source dynamic adaptive control module, which allocates the number of tokens to reward participating nodes. For confirming and verifying transactions, a proof of production consensus tracks renewable resources. Now, we are doing that because what Green is doing is unique. It's going to have a proof of work, but then also phase 2, like a proof of production, proof of protocol. So alongside an independently verifiable algorithm to track token issuance via consortium development and governments, the white paper explains the use of Switch tokens. From large-scale industrial power generation to small residential investments, Switch tokens will be minted anywhere renewable electricity is produced and consumed. Switch will be providing geo and time-stamped credentials for production and consumption of renewable and sustainable technologies. Well, they're not even close to what we're doing with Green. We're taking it to a whole nother level. Each Switch token used and accepted for commerce will directly support investments in and accelerate the adoption of renewable and sustainable technologies. As of July 2018, the Switch pilot program is being implemented in Germany, including 3.5 gigawatts of solar, wind, hydro, and biogas energy capacity to power over 500,000 homes. As part of the large-scale pilot, Switch is testing its first versions of the data flow, blockchain, dashboard, estimators, token allocation models, and other key elements of the platform. The Switch platform will support third-party developer applications across all facets of energy, commerce, optimization, and sustainability programs. From inception, Switch token holders will be able to access network dashboards and data and monitor Switch minting. What do they mean by that? Switch minting globally. So when electricity is produced, it mints a coin. See how GreenX coins are developed is from mining. There is no ICO. It's through mining. Globally, as well as view energy production via decentralized application on the Ethereum public blockchain. I'm going to keep an eye on Switch. But I liked another disruption of the energy industry. This is why we're falling in love with what green is doing. All right, so that is all for the news for today. I hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. And I may be back tonight for late night crypto talk. So with that, you guys have a great day today, Saturday. Enjoy it, your summer vacation. We'll see you all tonight. God bless. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.
Crypto Gen X.